Namaskar, good evening. You're watching India Upfront and I'm Swati Joshi. A controversial bill has set off a fierce debate across Karnataka and beyond, asking fundamental questions about free speech, harmony and power. The Congress government in Karnataka passed the Hate Speech and Hate Crimes Prevention and Control Bill 2025 amid loud protests in the Karnataka Assembly. Legislation is aimed at curbing speech and actions that cause enmity, hatred or ill will against individuals or groups. Under the new bill, offences are cognizable and non-bailable, meaning arrests can be made without prior notice and bail is not automatic. This is a criminal law with heavy sentences. For a first offence, prison terms range from 1 to 7 years, along with fines of up to 50,000 rupees. For repeat offences, jail terms can go up to 10 years, with fines up to 1 lakh rupees. Karnataka government argues that the bill is needed to prevent statements that fuel divisiveness and damage social harmony. Congress leaders are of the view that no one should get away by making hateful or prejudice-driven remarks. But the BJP is sounding alarm. BJP says the bill's language is broad and vague, that it gives excessive powers to law enforcement agencies and could be misused to stifle dissent or target political opponents. There are provisions in this bill that empower authorities to carry out arrests on subjective grounds of one's opinion. And that brings us to the big questions. If speech that causes ill will is criminal, who decides what hurts sentiment and who gets protected? Think about the hypocrisy. Time and again, offensive statements have been made about Hindus, Hindu gods and Hindu practices by leaders of the I.N.D.I.A bloc across states. And this sparked little outrage from the same political camp that is now backing hate speech, this hate speech bill. Is this not hypocrisy? Silence on one instance, anger on another. And viewers, a law that is open to interpretation must be tightly written, not wield power based on political circumstance. Because when policy becomes selective, free speech becomes conditional. And when speech is conditional, democracy itself is at risk.
Commits hate crime shall be punished with imprisonment for a term which shall not be less than 1 year, which may be extended to 7 years.
BJP always divide the society. We don't want the society to be divided.
Why is BJP panicking for it? Does the bill, the hate speech bill, mention Bharatiya Janata Party? Does it mention RSS? Does it mention any organization?
It is taking away of the basic rights and it's in a emergency in a new avatar.
Internally उनका strategy है प्रतिपक्ष को स्वतंत्र नहीं देना.
और ये स्पेशली इलेक्शन के बाद जब इलेक्शन आता है तभी भी मिस यूटिलाइजेशन होने का उसमें प्रोविजन है.
Let's open this up. Let's directly go across to our guests. Tonight we're joined by Shehzad Poonawala, National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. We have author Karan Verma on the panel with us. Tehseen Poonawala, political analyst, joins us as well, along with Syed Asad Abbas, also a political analyst, and advocate Neeladri Bhattacharya, a political analyst as well. Good evening to all of you. I want to first come to you, Syed Asad Abbas. The allegation is that this is emergency in a new avatar, a party that talks about free speech, that alleges the center, is muzzling free speech and dissent, does not allow the opposition to speak, has today come up with a bill like this.
I think this is the need of the hour, Swati ji, because the kind of temperatures that are raising, especially in the coastal belt of Karnataka, which is absolutely unfortunate. The fact, let us understand, be it a person of any community, any religion, this bill is a prevention for hate speech and hate crimes. Why is the BJP getting so insecure? Is it the agenda or the polarization, the dividing forces, or the communal laboratory which will come to an end here in my beautiful state of Karnataka? Swati ji, you are aware, we come from the land of Karnataka, the land of social reformers like Baswanna, the land of Kuvempu, Kuppalli Venkatappa Puttappa, who is a Rashtra Kavi. We always speak of unity. Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, aapas mein hai hum bhai bhai. That is the language spoken. Also, My simple question to my dear friends of the BJP is, this bill is to prevent hate speech.
Right.
Why are they so rattled? Why are they being exposing
So BJP
themselves
will
going
answer that
against it?
question. BJP is rattled or not, that Shehzad Poonawalla can answer, and why if they are rattled. But tell me something, Syed Asad Abbas, why are all the Congress leaders on record naming BJP every time they speak about the bill? BJP is spreading hate, BJP is doing this. Even inside the session, Bharati Suresh accused the BJP and then said the same thing that you said about setting the coast on fire, by the way, which was expunged in the assembly. Going by the logic, just one simple question, Asad Abbas. Rahul Gandhi said, Modi ko dande se marenge. Does that fall under the category of ill will against person alive or dead? Or does that fall under the category of with an intention to cause injury? And either of this, Rahul Gandhi should be sent to jail, just by going the logic of the Karnataka government.
Firstly, to your question that you raised, Bharati Suresh ji, who's known to me, who is a member of Legislative Assembly from the Hebbal constituency, I can tell you as a matter of fact, he did mention BJP because BJP is unsettled today. They were raising their voice, protesting against this bill. If Priyank Kharge has taken his name, DK Shivkumar has taken the name of BJP, because today the BJP here in Karnataka, it's like they are devastated and as though there is an earthquake. The fact that they win votes on dividing
You're not
the
answering
people,
my question.
on
The
hate
second
speech,
question.
They're doing that.
Okay. Like I
Also,
said, BJP
now-
will answer, BJP will defend themselves.
Absolutely.
Just answer
Now
my
coming to
question
the
on Rahul
question-
Gandhi.
Coming to the question that I absolutely do not believe that Rahul Gandhi ji will ever want to or wish to take violence in any form.
He said that.
Because it's the
Rahul Gandhi has made
the
that
violence.
statement.
Swati ji, 30 seconds, Swati ji. It is violence is what killed his beloved father.
No, one
Violence
second.
is what killed
One
his
second. No,
grandmother.
before you bring in.
So why would he want to be?
He has
any
made
sort of
that
a
statement on record. Modi ko dande marenge. Another leader said Modi ki kabar
Let us
khudegi.
understand.
Is that,
Yes, Swati ji,
does that
allow
fall
me-
under the category of ill will or intention to hurt an individual and cause injury?
That's a fair question that you've asked, a pointed question. I will articulate. It is merely a metaphor there.
Okay.
Dande marenge does not mean
Very
he's
interesting.
literally just 30 seconds.
Okay, very interesting. But
Literally.
in case you make that statement, in case you make that statement now that this hate speech bill has been passed in the Karnataka Assembly and will become a law, then you will be thrown behind the bars and there'll be no bail as well. Let me bring in Shehzad Poonawalla now. Shehzad Poonawalla, this bill is against hate speech, hate crime against individuals, whereas the government mentioned BJP in the bill anywhere, that you're so rattled.
Swati, it is not me who is rattled, it is not the BJP who is rattled, but it is every person who believes in the constitution of Ambedkar ji that is raising their objection. And let me tell you exactly why. First of all, Congress party preaching about hate is like devil preaching about Quran or Gita. And it is the worst kind of hypocrisy because Congress is the janani of hate speech. Sanatan is bimari, agreed Mr. Priyank Kharge on Udaynidhi's bayan. जुल्म होगा तो जिहाद होगा समाजवादी पार्टी एमपी राम मंदिर बेकार समाजवादी पार्टी एमपी राम मुस्लिम है टुडे मदन मित्रा टीएमसी एमपी These are the statements their leaders make. Jihad was taught to Arjuna by Krishna, Congress MP. Satish Jarkioli, Hindu is a dirty word. Then Mr. Senior Khadge has also insulted Sanatan. So those who are the maximum hate peddlers are today speaking about hate speech. Secondly, let me tell you the track record of the Congress. Swati, ever since the Congress party is getting exposed for its corruption, for its potholes, for the stampede issue in Karnataka and for a range of issues of civic misgovernance in Karnataka, they have started clamping down upon free speech. And let me give you some examples. You would remember that many cases were filed against sitting journalists in Karnataka in a particular police station in Bengaluru. You know that even Ajit Bharti and people like Bhiku Matre, one of the social media activists, they were arrested. Then you will remember that how Congress leaders, right from Revant Reddy to others, have threatened journalists, saying strip karke, parade karke, naked karke marenge. This is a party which bought First Amendment, which bought 2 anti-media laws, which bought 66A, which bought citizenization on 9,000 people in one day, and it banned 14 journalists, including this channel. And that's why Tehseen and Syed Abbas have to come for this channel. Now let me finally articulate the legal and constitutional issues. In this particular law, first of all, we already have a central law under the BNS which covers hate speech. And in the concurrent list, this item is there. So when a central law is there, the state law cannot overrule or override the central law, point number one. Point number two, the words that have been used in this particular law, they have already been struck down by the Supreme Court in Shreya Singhal case, saying that you can't use such vague words because it will lead to arbitrary misuse. And thirdly, the point is that Supreme Court in various cases has said that mere speech is not enough.
Yes.
It has to have linked to proximity, linked to violence. So unless it promotes violence, you can't book somebody just for what you think is hate speech. Otherwise, it becomes subjective. Now, going against all these Supreme Court verdicts, this particular law has been framed because mark me, Swati. The next bulletin you show about Karnataka's potholes, they will file cases against Times Now.
Okay.
The next time you raise question about why ambulance is not there and people in Bengaluru are dying, they will file the case against you because they will say you're spreading ill will.
Okay.
Sayyid Abbas is the face of this Hitlerwadi vyavastha that they want to impose.
Okay, let me bring in Tehseen Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla, one shows hypocrisy, two shows intolerance, and three, Shehzad Poonawalla says that this is basically snatching away rights of individuals, irrespective of whether they are politicians or not, from asking serious, pertinent questions to the government. Because tomorrow you will say, you know, if a person says that the chief minister of someone else is a corrupt man, that they are not working in interest of the people, you'll say that falls under the category of ill will. Because what is the definition, what is the meaning of ill will then?
Good evening, Swati. Thank you for having me on the show. Good evening to all my fellow panelists and to all your viewers. What I heard the BJP spokesperson saying, and I'll start with where the BJP spokesperson ended. He said, should we speak about potholes or ambulances not reaching in time, the government in Karnataka will arrest people. So what is the government in Karnataka or the police going to say? That there is a hate speech because an ambulance didn't reach, or there was a hate speech because an ambulance was, because there's a pothole on the road? Is that how they will make it up? I mean, seriously, we are having a very serious discussion. You can say anything in a subjective manner, and I appreciate it. I would like to argue on that. But to come here and to put fiction out for the most articulate spokesperson of the BJP, I find that funny. Now let's come to the second. The hate speech laws that have come up under the BNS have come up in my case. Tehseen Poonawalla versus Union of India, where the Supreme Court directed there should be laws for hate speech. Now, any law that's in the concurrent list, the state may make it tougher. I agree with the BJP spokesperson if he believes some of these words are, like in Shreya Singhal, the Supreme Court has articulated, are vague and can be misused. Courts are open. Today, I asked the BJP when in Hathras media was being arrested, when a journalist was thrown in jail for covering midday meals at Stones. That time I was told on Times Now channel, Syed and me were told that don't you believe in the courts? Today I am asking the BJP, don't you believe in the courts?
Okay.
Third, I am stunned. I am stunned that the word is hate and the people who are defending it is BJP, which means everything Syed and I say on Times Now, hate is equal to BJP, jab BJP darti hai, Hindu Musalman karti hai, nafrat phailati, is coming true. Otherwise, please explain to me, and I'm a layman, how is Swati saying there's a pothole on Karnataka roads and they're bad, equivalent to hate speech? It
Okay, but then Rahul Gandhi saying Modi ko dande marenge ya Modi ki kabar khudegi, because you know the prejudicial interest, if you look at that section, it says means and includes the bias on grounds of, and number one is religion. So by that logic, are you saying Udayanidhi Stalin can be thrown behind bars because he equated Sanatan Dharma to AIDS and other diseases?
Now let me expose the hypocrisy of the BJP.
Okay.
The BJP ended his speech on his turn saying that mere words are not tantamount to hate speech. It has to be intention. But even then, I think what Rahul Gandhi said is wrong. I have the guts to say it. I think what Priyank Kharge and Stalin said was wrong. And I think if Priyank Kharge and Stalin repeat that, in the great state of Karnataka, law will fall on them because this law gives no exception either to the Congress or the BJP.
No.
The only political party
one second. It will all depend, and then that will take us to the point of sweeping powers that have been given. Before that, let Shehzad come in, then Mr. Karan Verma. Okay, Shehzad, rebuttal.
Swati, Tehseen Poonawalla, because by the virtue of being my brother and having relation with me, he must have learned some amount of law, not all of it. So Tehseen Poonawalla should firstly know that first of all, we can't go to courts till the law is notified by the governor or the president. It has been passed by the assembly. It has not become an act. Point number one. Point number one. Secondly, Tehseen Poonawalla, Udayanidi's talent statement that Sanatan should be eliminated was categorized as hate speech by the Supreme Court, and Priyank Khadge said it is absolutely correct. And then he ended up adding that it is a disease. Now there is no bar of limitation on criminal acts. So I challenge Tehseen Poonawalla, because he's on calling terms with Siddaramaiah and Shiv Kumar. He's the only person who can get through to both, something that most Congress people can't. Please call them up and say that the first person they should book is Mr. Khadge's son. Thirdly, Tehseen Poonawalla, I would like to ask you that since you have said that Rahul Gandhi's speech, it is figure of, somebody else said it is figure of speech. There is direct call for violence in Rahul Gandhi's speech, that Lathi Dande Maro, Modi ki kabr khudegi, means kill Modi. But having said that, forget that, I'll take you to fourth point. Tehseen Poonawalla says, what is hate? Why does BJP stand up? Sir, because in your definition, you have withdrawn 175 cases against PFI. That is not hate for you. You did tie up with SDPI in Bantwal mayoral seat. That is not hate for you. SDPI is not hateful. You allowed MIM leaders who had riot cases in DJ Ali to go scot-free. That is not hate for you. And a person plays Hanuman Chalisa, you booked him even though he was beaten up by your Congress goons. That is hate for you. For you, Hindu is hate. And for anybody who says Sartan se juda, Sanatan samap, that is all secular
Okay,
bhasha.
but now Tehseen Poonawalla is saying that it will apply to everyone. It will apply to everyone is what Tehseen Poonawalla... No, one second. I just will quickly bring in Karan Verma. Karan Verma, let's take it to stage 2. Stage 2 where you should talk about the sweeping powers, because Tehseen Poonawalla is saying now, after this becomes a law, if Rahul Gandhi makes that statement, or if, Udayanidhi Stalin makes that statement, in the great state of Karnataka, they will be put behind bars. But what is the process? Look at what point number 4 says. On receiving information and after such inquiry as he may think necessary. Who's he here? Officer not below the rank of a deputy superintendent of police. So the process or the inquiry that individual thinks is necessary, and that individual has reason to believe that a person or a group of person within local limits is likely to commit an offence or has threatened to commit an offence, and in his opinion. So everything is on this one individual, and then there is immunity granted as well to the individual in the name of doing a good deed. How can you expect fairness?
So what a monstrosity, Swati, and the discretionary powers which you just read. But Tehseen asked 2 questions and I want to answer them pointedly. He said, why is the BJP equating itself with hate? Why is the BJP think that it affects them? Well, it's not the BJP or the RSS which thinks that, it's Priyank Khadge. Let me quote Priyank Khadge. Priyank Khadge, who's a minister in this government, and this government will have control over the police. We've seen the kind of stuff this police has done, coming from Karnataka and arresting journalists here. What has he said? He said RSS is the #1 hate organization in this country. It is a militant organization. I would request the CM to ban RSS activities in school. So, my dear friend Tehseen Poonawalla, it is Priyank Khadge who believes hate is equal to RSS. So, when he brings in a bill for hate speech, it's targeting RSS, it's targeting the Hindus. He's very, very clear in his agenda. Number 1. Secondly, he said that if someone is complaining about potholes, how can that be hate speech? It's the intention that matters. Look, when a renowned business person, Kiran Mazumdar-Shaw, when she said there are growing potholes in Karnataka, you know what DK Shiv Kumar said? DK Shiv Kumar said this woman should not resort to constant criticism. Constant criticism. He got riled up. And then he says, what is her intention here? It's DK Shiv Kumar, the deputy CM, who believes that the intention here is to defame Karnataka. So they can bring in the intention. They believe hate is equal to RSS. Let's call the bluff out. The fact is, this is just another version of the communal violence bill that they wanted to bring when if they would have come to power in 2014. This is a bill out and out to target the Hindus in the name of hate speech, because as Shehzad rightly said, they took back cases of AIMIM people in the Hubli riots. They took back cases of PFI and they are targeting RSS. So the design is very, very clear. This is an anti-Hindu legislation drafted giving police discretionary powers to target only and only the Hindus, Swati. Okay,
I know Abbas and Tehseen both want to come in, but Mr. Niladri Bhattacharya hasn't spoken. Karan Verma says this is anti-Hindu. Karan Verma says it's very clear, the design is very clear, this is anti-RSS.
Swati says it's fun saying the BJP panelists squirming in the seats for the first time. Because as you say, the reasons to believe it is there in the PMLA Act also. If the ED officer can have arrest on the basis of reasons to believe, the DSP is also sufficiently empowered to investigate and if there are reasons to believe, to arrest the person. Constitution provides for free speech, but raises reasonable restrictions on it.
And the opposition is okay with it. You have no issues with the powers that have been given to the CEC or to other officers? Opposition is fine with that. So that's why I believe perhaps that's the reason why it's reflecting now in this as well.
On the hate speech today, Swati. CEC can be for a different day, but it is very fun to see that now they are squirming on the hate speech. They didn't understand this when Nupur Sharma made those comments and the entire country was boiling. That time it was not there. Today,
no, 1 second.
a non-BJP government makes a bill and they have a problem that it will be targeted. Law is same for everyone, be it Hindus or Muslims. India is a secular country. We all are equal in the eyes of law. You can't have one set of law for the Hindus and one set of law for the Muslims.
No, 1 second.
Today, be it a Hindu or be it a Muslim.
That is a claim. That is a claim, but there are loopholes. There are loopholes that are being discussed, sir. And if you have a prejudice mindset, your intention is going to be questioned?
No, not at all. Not at all. The government is supposed to have no mind of its own. It is bound.
Then what explains the statements that were just cited by Karan Verma?
It is bound to implement the law as it is.
Then what explains the statements that were just cited by Karan Verma? If there is no prejudice, there is no bias.
To argue on this, then it can also be said that all the ED arrests which have been made or the CBI arrests which have been made, those were also misuse of the law. But we have not said that. We have gone into the court. We have fought it out there.
My God.
So let it be.
Karan Verma coming. Karan Verma coming.
So, I mean, what can be more devastating than what he's just said? Here, I've just quoted a minister in the government saying that he believes RSS is #1 hate organization. And he brings in a hate bill. And he says the government has no mind of its own. I admit the government has no mind of its own. It's a brainless government right now, which is driving Karnataka to the economic mess. But it surely has a prejudice of its own. And prejudice is what takes precedence. When you give police that discretionary power to determine what is hate and what is not. You can't compare it to PMLA, where you have a trail, where you have clinching evidence to come to some sort of conclusion. Here, as Swati just quoted, there is discretionary power. And we're seeing what the police is doing, what the government is doing. Taking back cases of one community and bringing the other community under the net and calling it full of hate. So, your bluff stands exposed right away.
Okay, bluff stands exposed. Abbas wants to come in, then Tehseen Poonawala.
Just allow me a minute's time, please, uninterrupted. Firstly, Karan Verma, please do not misguide the people who are watching Times Now today. Karnataka is not in an economic mess. Let me tell you, we are the second largest contributor of the GDP of the nation. GST collection, we are #2. Agriculture has grown by 4%. We have outpaced the national growth by 6.2%. Bengaluru continues to be the Silicon Valley of the East, and we are still the startup hub of India.
Yet statements keep coming in from your top leaders that there's no money.
Now, Karan, now coming to Karan's statement, sir, this is not just about Hindu-Muslim. Please read the bill. It is anybody who makes hateful statements against somebody of a sexual orientation, race, caste, color, creed. All of this entails under hate speech and hate crime prevention bill. When you see in the prism of only Hindu-Muslim...
I'm coming to you, Shehzad. I know you want to come in.
Party, it does not work like that.
Shehzad wants to come in.
Swati.
Okay, make your last point.
Yeah, Shehzad needs to know. Shehzad, my friend Shehzad can go ahead and tweet. He's got a great following on Twitter. So does Tehseen and Karan. My friends, you can tweet, criticize the government, but that does not entail under hate speech. I guarantee you on that. And I'm ready to go on a guillotine for you.
Okay, Shehzad Poonawala, please come in. Shehzad Poonawala, come in.
Swati, first of all, Syed, I am not from the Sar Tan Se Juda fashion group, so don't need to put your head on the guillotine, but maybe Siddaramaiah likes it that way. So that's another issue, but I am not going by your guarantees. There's something called the Constitution and the Supreme Court. I'll stick to their guarantees. The last time I stuck to a Sharia bread's guarantee, it was quite dangerous. So let me park that aside for another day. Having said that, let me make two very quick points. First of all, Mr. Bhattacharya said that why is the BJP squirming? Swati, I quoted the Supreme Court's position on hate laws. So is the Supreme Court squirming as well? The Supreme Court is the vanguard of free speech and constitutional rights. So unless Mr. Bhattacharya feels that Ambedkarji's constitution should not be given respect, He can say that we are squirming for free speech because of the kind of track record Congress has. Point number 2. Now to Tehseen Poonawalla. Tehseen Poonawalla, PFI is a hate organization which is a BJP banned. 175 cases were withdrawn of this PFI by Mr. Siddaramaiah. So clearly you don't have real perspective of what is a hate group and what is not. And thirdly, to my dear friend, Mr. Guarantee Giver, Mr. Syed Abbas. Swati, just 5 seconds, indulge me. Swati, if I were to make a statement कि Swati का भगवान गलत है, Swati deserves to die for praying to the God that she believes in. It would be hate speech, right? Now, Mr. Syed Abbas, do not listen to kafirs. Have war against them. Kafir is Satan's ally. Kafir will be cursed wherever found, murder them. Kafir se yudh karo. Do not believe in kafirs, believe in Allah. Now, please tell me, would you categorize this as hate speech or not?
So that, please, thank you. Shahzad, it's very interesting how you read out certain verses or certain ayats. Kindly, I request you, my dear friend, please, if you claim yourself to be a Muslim,
categorize these verses as hate speech?
Hear me out. Sir, you cannot read the Quran in its entirety.
I did not quote any scripture. I did not take the name of any scripture. 1 second.
It's absolutely
Swati, did I say any scripture's name?
Wrong to take out certain context, out of context and speak. You take any religion and you take certain statements.
Oh, now there's a context.
A certain thing, and you said this is, sir, Owaisi or the likes of Owaisi may make statements like that and say this is Quran and so on and so forth. Islam preaches peace and Islam is a religion of peace. These ayats that you take out of context.
Swati, now let me.
He is not saying that he is quoting Quran.
Please let me come in. Just let me come in. Swati, I'll just articulate my position because I don't want a wrong message to go. Swati, I did not claim that this is from any particular scripture. But वो बोलते हैं ना कि चोर की दाढ़ी में तिनका, तो निकल के आ गया. अब सैयद ने उससे बड़ी बात दूसरी बोली. उन्होंने बोला context matters. Exactly, Syed Abbas. And because context matters, these words have to be defined very narrowly so that you cannot use a different context. And for proper criticism, you apply that this is anti-Karnataka, anti-this, anti-that, and you start putting people in jail. Exactly my point you have proven. That in a context, certain thing can be taken positively, certain thing can be taken in a negative way. Everything can be categorized as hate speech if I am subjective. And therefore, Mr. Syed Abbas,
and that perhaps is the problem. The arbitrary misuse, the scope for arbitrary misuse, Tehseen Poonawalla, the definitions are so broad and vague. It will lead to misuse.
Look, if there is any provision of this law that could or would lead to misuse, and I'm not a fan of laws or larger laws coming in, I think a nation should have very small laws and no law should extend more than 1 feet. I'm very clear on that position. I am sure that once the Honorable Government, His Excellency the Governor, signs this bill into a law, the BJP or its friends can go to court, and if there's something that's unconstitutional or otherwise, they can get it struck down, and I'm sure the courts will look into that absolutely safely. But look at what is happening on your show. The three of us in the bottom row of your show have not once said this is about any religion. We're saying no religion, no gender, no caste, no sexual orientation should be targeted. But those on the top row, my two brothers on the top row, are saying this is only against one religion. And they've not been able to put 1 point across to show how this is against a religion. Now the BJP spokesperson quoted the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka and he quoted somebody else. Both of them happen to be Hindus, but which is an industrialist, a woman industrialist. Both of them happen to be Hindus. Did the Deputy Chief Minister of Karnataka get a GST state paid on her? Did he send his local police on her? Did he try to bully her? In fact, she came and she met the Deputy Chief Minister. She's now investing even further in Bangalore, realizing his mission of making Bangalore a world-class city after the mess BJP has left it in is the right vision. So now what is the BJP trying to do? I can't say somebody may misuse something and now take offense to it. What is there now that exists? And now that exists is the only hate speech in Karnataka was done by Pragya Thakurji. I filed an FIR against her, and I want to end by telling the SP then under the BJP I called him up. I said, why is the FIR not registered? You know why he didn't register the FIR against Pragya Thakurji? He didn't register it because he said in a digital FIR he needs my physical signature. This was under their government. That was Priyank Kharge to send some Congress people to register the FIR on their name. This is what they did. This is how they misuse the laws to protect Pragya Thakur, who made a hate speech in the great state of Karnataka by FIR. Please don't give us lectures here.
Okay, Mr. Bhattacharya also wants to come in. Then Shahzad, you can come in. Yes.
Swati, only thing I want to say is this. Hate speech is also there in the BNS, which is the central law. Now, if a state has made any law and order is the state subject, and it is not repugnant to the central law, then I don't think why these BJP people are having problem with that. It is in consonance with the BNS and the central law.
The problem is with the intention. The problem is with the sweeping powers that have been given. The problem is also with the immunity at the end. It's a non-bailable offence. Shehzad, then Karan.
Just 10 seconds. Tehseen Poonawalla said that the people on the top of the screen are making it a Hindu-Muslim issue. Tehseen, your track record has been this. Your communal violence bill was absolutely anti-Hindu. Your implementation and execution, where you withdraw cases from PFI, but you charge people who play Hanuman Chalisa and get beaten up with cases, is your track record that you have always been anti-Hindu, going to the extent of giving clean chits to terrorists because they happen to be from your vote bank community. And Tehseen Poonawalla and Mr. Bhattacharya, it is repugnant to the Supreme Court law. Supreme Court laid down observations and verdicts. It is repugnant to BNS also. And therefore, in that case, in the concurrent list, the central law will prevail. So it is unconstitutional, immoral, and only aimed at silencing Hindus, silencing the ordinary citizen of Karnataka. You must protest it. It will give unlimited right to Syed Abbas to spew venom against Hindus, and it will stop you from saying anything about potholes.
And it does because Karan Verma, it also says that upon receiving information that an individual is likely to commit an offence, preventive action can be taken.
So, Swati, my friend Tehseen, for the fourth or the fifth time said, when has it been about the RSS or BJP or Hindus? You know, Tehseen may not have said it, but Priyank Kharge, I just quoted you, RSS is the #1 hate organization he mentioned. Now I'm giving you another quote of Priyank Kharge. In fact, he writes it on Twitter. I'm reading his ex post here, 27th June 2025. He tags R. Ashok of the BJP, and look what he says. And it's almost prophetic what he says here. He says, trust me, the day people vest me with enough power, I will use every constitutional tool to dismantle the toxic anti-national machinery of the RSS. He wants to completely dismantle RSS. He further says, Hinduism is a political ideology of the same character as the fascist or Nazi ideology and is thoroughly anti-democratic. Can you imagine? This guy's agenda is crystal clear. I don't know what Tehseen and my friend Syed Abbas are defending here when a minister is so clear in his agenda. In fact, the Chief Minister Sitaramaiah has gone on to say people leave Hinduism because it is so unequal.
It has been put on record. A series of statements now cited, Mr. Abbas, that makes one question the intent of the government, the intent behind the action. Also look at this, another clause which says offences by organisation or institution. So, for example, if an organisation or institution is the one committing the crime, then whoever is in charge and was responsible will also be held accountable, shall be deemed guilty. And then there's an explanation which says, for the purpose of this section, organisation or institution means and includes association of persons, whether registered or not. You put the onus on the individual to then just run from pillar to post and say, you know, this happened without my knowledge. I didn't even know that this was happening.
I will answer that, Swati. Firstly, to my dear friend Shehzad, who's the BJP national spokesperson, who said that this speech will give the likes of me, Syed Abbas, to spew venom against my Hindu brothers. Thousands of channels and thousands of debates are testimony to the fact that Syed Abbas is a man who always speaks of Hindu-Muslim unity. I could be a critique of BJP, but that does not make me against my Hindu brothers. When Udayanidhi Stalin made that statement, Tehseen is testimony to the fact that I was the first one to condemn it. And I called him myself an anti-national. And I said, I can never defend a man like that who speaks against one of the greatest cultures in the world, which is the Sanatan Dharma.
Okay.
Now, coming to your point, Swati ji, let us also understand how Karan and Shehzad paint a picture, but they have exposed their duplicity and hypocrisy. Bhai sahab, aap kya bode ho gaye the? You became deaf when that BJP MP made a statement agar Kuwar Danish Ali saying that Ugravadi, only because he is a Muslim, he becomes a terrorist, he becomes an anti-national. आपको वो दिखाई नहीं देता.
नहीं, आप तो कह रहे हैं ना, वो तो दिख ही रहा है ना आपको. आप तो वो कह रहे हैं कि वो दिख ही रहा है. आपको तो वो दिख ही रहा है. वो सवाल आपसे पूछ रहे हैं कि आपको दिखाई देता है कि नहीं. जब उदयनिधि स्टालिन बोलते हैं ये तो एड्स है, मलेरिया है, या जब टीएमसी के नेता पश्चिम बंगाल में बोलते हैं लॉर्ड राम वॉज मुस्लिम। आपको ये सुनाई देता है और दिखाई देता है?
30 seconds, Swati ji, when that statement was made, I said, मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम राम इमाम हिंद है, लीडर ऑफ इंडिया, और सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा। अल्लामा इकबाल ने कहा है ये, एंड मैं अल्लामा इकबाल का
तो फिर आपके हिसाब से नहीं, तो फिर आपके हिसाब से एक इमरान मसूद जो बोलते हैं बच्चों को जिहाद सिखाइए, एक इमरान मसूद, एक राहुल गांधी जो बोलते हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री को लोग डंडा मारेंगे, और एक उदयनिधि स्टालिन, इन तीनों को उठा के जेल में डाल देना चाहिए? नॉन अवेलेबल है ये, इन तीनों को जेल में डाल देना चाहिए?
इमरान मसूद की बात पे मैं नाविका कुमार जी के शो पर था और मैंने कड़ी निंदा की इमरान मसूद की ऐसी बात करने के लिए।
को आप अपने पे इंडिविजुअल पे क्यों ले जा रहे हैं? आप चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं कर्नाटका के, आप डेप्यूटी चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं कर्नाटका के, आप कोई ऐसे मंत्री हैं जो इसको मिसयूज कर सकते हैं, पुलिस पर दबाव बना सकते हैं? बताइए, आप समझ रहे हैं डिबेट किस पर हो रही है? चीज को आप इंडिविजुअली क्यों ले जा रहे हैं? शहजाद पूनावाला, मैंने आपकी राय पूछी, मैंने ये नहीं पूछा कि आप एंटी हिंदू हैं कि नहीं है।
तकिया, यू कम एंड प्रेजेंट ए डिफरेंट पिक्चर। चलिए
भविष्य में
स्वाति जी,
ठीक है।
सैयद अब्बास अल तकिया। स्वाति जी, may I complete?
Yes.
Swati, may I complete?
जी।
Swati, may I complete? This is called al takiya. It is called al takiya. Arfa Khanam has explained it कि strategy बदलनी है टीवी पे। तो I asked Syed Abbas, this law has come into force. प्रियंक खड़गे के खिलाफ कल FIR करने जाओ, कल FIR करने जाओ। स्वाति, you call me a name and we'll see his complaint against Priyank Khadge. Challenge accepted. Priyank जी, sorry, Mr. Syed Abbas, हिंदू मुस्लिम एकता के क्या वो अमन के शांति दूत, मिस्टर शांति दूत, कल FIR करके लाना प्रियंक खड़गे के खिलाफ।
सबसे पहले अभी जवाब सुनिए। जिस दिन मेरा भाई, मेरा प्रिय मित्र शहजाद मोदी जी के खिलाफ बोलेगा कि राइटर्स कैन बी आइडेंटिफाइड बाय द ड्रेस, मैं मानूंगा तुम्हारी बात।
अरे आप लेकर आए ना, आप लेकर आए ना, ये
शांति दूत आ गया।
ये हेट स्पीच बिल तो आप लाए ना कर्नाटका में, आपने बोला हर किसी पर इक्वली अप्लाई होगा, तो फिर आप क्यों हेजिटेट कर जाते हैं बोलने से कि हाँ प्रियंक खड़गे के खिलाफ एक्शन होना चाहिए? Why do you hesitate? Say it. No.
नहीं कर रहा हूँ।
In the great state of Karnataka, if it is going to apply to everyone. And what's unfortunate is that the first opportunity anybody gets, you start talking about why BJP is so rattled. अरे भाई, तो आप क्या केवल बीजेपी के खिलाफ एक्शन लेने के लिए बैठे हैं क्या? What about the ordinary citizen? What about all those people who want to put their grievances, their concerns, their complaints in public domain? What if tomorrow that is, according to the government authorities in the bill, equal to ill will against the government? Think about those people. Karan Verma.
नहीं, देखिए स्वाति, our friend Syed Abbas gets so excited that he misses out on facts. He just made a very dangerous statement. He said, I am Shagird of Allama Iqbal. Allama Iqbal is the spiritual father of Pakistan, just so he knows. सारे जहां से अच्छा हिंदुस्तान हमारा तो उन्होंने पहले बोला था, उसके बाद उन्होंने जो बोला चीनो अरब हमारा, हिंदुस्तान हमारा, मुस्लिम है हम, सारा जहां हमारा. It was a Gazwaye Hind agenda. He is the spiritual father of Pakistan. थोड़ा पढ़ना लिखना चाहिए सैयद अब्बास को. और सैयद अब्बास did not have a problem with Udaynidhi Stalin. But Priyank Khadge endorsed that statement on 4th September 2023. He said, of course, anything which doesn't preach equality is as good as
जब ये लॉ बनेगा तब देखेंगे कि कितना सब पे इक्वली अप्लाई करता है कि नहीं. And then perhaps we'll get an answer to whether this is to curb hate speech or free speech. I'd like to thank our guests for joining us on debate number 1, except Karan Verma, who's going to continue with us for debate number 2 as well.